Hi, this is Nikki, and I'm here to share all the messages that I get from Spirit and all of our higher selves back into our reunions. And just want to say, what an amazing day yesterday. I just was so buzzing after that wonderful lady said that going to meet her twin tomorrow after 16 years and 29 years. I mean, these things are just what fills your heart with joy, right? And that is what we are talking about. We are talking about filling your heart with joy so that the pull of the heart is so strong, it draws your twin and your divine loves in. So, what has been happening has been more uncovering of this wonderful journey. So, the Atlantis theme has been coming up a lot in healings. And then this morning somebody commented on one of my videos. I'm just going to read it out because if you've been following these videos, if you've been resonating with the messages, then there could be some Atlantis stuff that you need to let go of, okay? Because a lot of the time in healings I've been seeing, the couples going underwater like this and breathing for each other. And that is a sign of, and very often one of them is flailing around in the water and all they actually have to do is open their eyes and see that their divine love is right there in front of them. So all this panic, all this, like what they call this running, chasing, which I don't really like. But anyway, that, you don't need to do that because actually your soul, your twin soul is always there, right in front of you in the spirit, in their soul self, right? So when you really work on that connection, you can be much, much calmer and be able to bob the court, be be the person that rides a surfboard on the top of the wave, or be the person that rides the snowboard on top of the snow. Because then, you have that calmness within, because you just know ultimately there is just all knowing that at one point in your divine path you will be coming together. Now, I absolutely do know that at the beginning of the journey, you're kind of like, once I didn't find out about twin flames until last year. So I had years of thinking, am I crazy? What's going on? And then it's really reassuring when you finally find out and you start reading about twin flames and you're like, oh my God, all those kind of symptoms, let's say, are similar for everyone, right? So, but once you get to the point that it's just an absolute knowing, and that's why these themes have been coming up to clear fears. So I'm just going to read what the ladies said, because the reason why this is so why we're uncovering things, why we're being brought together as a group to help each other, is because we're uncovering things between us. So she says, no way, she made a comment around my Atlantis video from yesterday, and she says, no way, I've just been seeing in my inner vision my twin blindfolded before I clicked onto this video. Now, I mentioned that I've been seeing twins blindfolded over the last few days. My first contact with my twin took place in a dream in 1997 where we were shown to be twin mermaids in Atlantis. Last night I experienced my twin merman getting lost off the shore of Venice and getting caught by humans who kept him on the land, later as a relic in the vaults under the Vatican. Hence the abandonment and separation anxiety that has lingered for centuries. I googled Venice mermaids and found out that there are myriads of mermaids depicted in Venetian Renaissance art after the fall of Atlantis. Many souls return to Earth as dolphins and mer people. My first poem to my twin 18 years ago was titled Hymn to a Mer Brother. Right. So, what is interesting about that is this just shows you 18 years ago, when she was writing to her twin and saying hymn to her mer brother, that was her soul, like coming through and writing this. Now, I had done a healing this was about 2 months ago, and in that healing I saw Venetian dancers, and it was a masked Venetian ball, and I couldn't get the connection because I was thinking, why am I seeing Venetian dancers? I don't know why, but I am. And now it makes perfect sense, because also, when I say this, in my mum's kitchen, I bought my mum, when I went to Florence in Italy, I bought my mum a painting, and it's a mermaid coming out of an oyster shell. And now thinking about it, it has mermen either side. And it's a famous painting, so I'm going to have to look at it and try and do the video on that. But, so, why I'm saying this is that Atlantis, and it's no surprise then that I was drawn to these particular cards, which were the Angels of Atlantis. Last time I went to get my crystals for the crystal grid, I was drawn to these particular cards. So it's obviously this stuff about, you know, that this thing of separation again is coming up, because she says, you know, the fact that they were the cute. Last night I experienced my twin merman getting lost off the shore of Venice and getting caught by humans who kept him on land, later as a relic in the vaults under the Vatican, hence the abandonment and separation. So interesting. After the fall of Atlantis, many souls returned to Earth as dolphins and mer people. So that is very interesting, because I have been guided to watch Splash, the movie. I see this, that we're breathing together. I actually bought this, and the actual, it says, we rose up slowly as if we didn't belong to the outside world any longer. Like swimmers in a shadowy dream who didn't need to breathe. Right? So, amazing. The other thing that I'd just like to say is I'm getting quite a few messages yesterday. This is what I mean by we're all mirroring each other. I had quite a few messages where people were saying I was just about to fall off the path, and I found it really difficult in the last few days. And then I got this gorgeous message from this lady who said, I'm going to read it to you because it just shows how coming together like this helps each other. So she said, oh my goodness. Okay, so over the course of the full moon in Cancer, I had it so rough, I was crying to my friend, who is also a twin, and I just kept saying, is this a pipe dream? Am I crazy for thinking this is going to happen? It must be a pipe dream, and I'm just delusional. Once I received a healing from you, and the messages were so clear, I got back on track. Then you put this video out. So yesterday I put the video about the pipe dream and the motorbike riding the waves. And she said, I know it's another message from my twin. Thank you so much for sharing everything you do. And so you're very, very welcome, because I have no, you know, obviously this is all of your higher selves, or your twins' higher selves, channeling all of these messages through each other. And I get the same from you. So yesterday a girl sent me a note to say, I'm going to Waitrose, and I have a Waitrose bag, and I'm going to bake a cake for my twin. Now, you know, silly things like this, but this is, my Waitrose is my twin's favourite supermarket. Now, when I look at that now, I absolutely know why it is, because it's Rose, right? He wants me to wait for him. Rose is the sign of divinity. I know that whenever I see Rose, it's always a message from him. So even his supermarket, wait, Rose, wait for me, Rose. The next one is that she says about baking a cake. Again, that's a message from, this is just an innocent thing, but for me, I'm not innocent, but a really, you know, it just shows you that messages are everywhere, because I baked my twin a cake for his birthday. And I was obviously following my guidance, which is our higher selves, and I did a chocolate and raspberry cake. And when I gave it to him, he said, oh my God, those are my favourites. How did you know that I liked chocolate and raspberry? And I was like, oh, well, you know, I just know. And so this is the thing. This is how I knew that that was a message from him to me. Also, somebody else has just sent me a note to say he wears spectacles, and there's a spectacle brochure with his name actually on it. So, you know, these things are just amazing. It's the signs that keep you going. It's the signs that bring you closer and closer and closer to your divine path. So stay on it. Don't fall off that wagon, because we're uncovering more and more and more. Remember, we are evolving. We're rising up. That's the other theme. The other theme is definitely about rising up. Alright, so stay strong. Don't forget, I'm doing a special offer for January. It's only £20. It is really powerful. I'm having so much fun doing them, and I'm very happy to help as many people as I can. And please join the Crystal Grid. All details are in the link. I would love for you to join in. Okay, thank you. Bye.